Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler reviews, series reviews I do for a little while now. I go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that, time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, this is a little bit of a one, but we'll see how it goes. Folks, it's a super simple format. I'm going to go over there, I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm going to yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I am inside my truck, and whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing grody work clothes. Typically, when I'm inside my truck and I'm wearing grody work clothes, that means I was on my way home from work and I found some shit to review for you. That is definitely the case today. I went over there, got off work about an hour and a half ago at the time I'm doing this, and I went over there, did my thing, got out, and I was like, all right, I need some supplies, right? So I go over there, I get my supplies, and as I'm making my way back from the old Walmart, I was like, well, kind of hungry, food and such. So I decided to go over there and hit up a gas station across from the Walmart, as you do. And I'm looking around to see what they got. It's kind of breakfasty time still, so they're like, eh. So what did I find, folks? What are we doing here today? What am I reviewing for you? Well, folks, it's from Casey's, and it's boom! I mean, you can't see it that well. It's Biscuits and Gravy from Casey's. These are gas stations biscuits and gravy. Okay. So, I've reviewed things from Casey's before. They're typically pretty good. I don't know how well biscuits and gravy is going to translate into gas station food, but we're going to find out. And I'll be entirely honest, I like some biscuits and gravy. It's not a go-to breakfast for me, though. I definitely have a lot of other things I would go to before that, but at the same time, sometimes you just really want it, so. Alright. I mean, it looks like, so I'll say this much. Biscuits and gravy, I don't care how you played it, never looks that sexy. So, it is what it is. But, can we get a thing for the thing? It kind of, yeah, that's not moving much. Can we think for a thing? It looks, let's try to get a better thing. Oh, yeah. I mean, to be fair, when biscuits and gravy is done right, I mean, oh, beautiful thing. But when it's done wrong, let's like something like this, I guess. It looks like that's lighting. Ha 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 ha! And yeah, let's give it a go. Biscuits. And that's kind of a starchy biscuit. Okay. Let's get in more with the gravy. You know what? It's not bad. Genuinely, it's not bad. It's not great. Not even close to great, but it's not bad. Like, in my head, this was going to be a million times worse. But in actuality, it's okay. Like, it's actually very okay. I will say, the biscuits are definitely the weakest part of this. You definitely want to get them sopping with the gravy. I mean, there's really no like structural integrity to the biscuits left, which, to be fair, biscuits and gravy, I mean, depending, I've had it kind of different ways over the years. I've had ones where it's more fresh and it's kind of poured on immediately. So the biscuits themselves, they've still got a little structure, they still got a little bite to them. But I've also had them at other places where, they're just kind of, the gravy's really slopped on there and they're already, kind of just almost part of the gravy at that point. And I like both either way. I think personally, though, I do prefer the ones where there's still that structure involved, just because you get a little bit more from the biscuits themselves. But yeah, they're definitely better with the gravy really kind of covering them. Because again, they come off as a little bit starchy. Like, they're tender and stuff, but they definitely don't have that, like, fresh, like, homemade biscuit taste. And biscuits are one of those things that you really got to, They need to be made there. They need to be prepared, in a loving environment. Otherwise, they're just not that great. In this case, that's definitely the case. They're okay, but, like, I'm not getting any real proper biscuity goodness for them. They're more just a vehicle for the gravy flavor, which is fine. Again, I've had other biscuits and gravies that are similar to that. The gravy itself is okay. The consistency on it is actually not terrible. I would say it feels a little under-seasoned, though. And obviously it's going to vary, recipe to recipe, but, like, the ones that I've had in the past that I've preferred are the ones that are a little bit more peppery. So it's got a little extra bite to it. There's a little pepper in there for sure. But I think personally, if I wanted to go improve on these, just myself, just pour on a little pepper. Just again, to give it that little something extra. But yeah, they're very okay. But the fact that they're even okay genuinely says a lot. But yeah, the biscuits are kind of cakey. The gravy, while okay, it does have some of that sort of, like, savory meatiness from the sausage kind of gravy aspect, but it's lacking the level of flavor that I would like out of biscuits and gravy. But for being some shit I got at a gas station, it's a pretty decent approximation, if I'm being honest. But two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Maybe on rare occasion and kinda-ish. So for me personally, it's one of those things, again, I have to give them a lot of credit because I really did think these were going to be probably pretty abysmal, and they're not. All things considered, they're actually pretty nice in their way. They're filling enough, they're doing what I expect biscuits and gravy to do, just not at the level I expect them to do it at. So, I think for me, if I want some biscuits and gravy, I have places I can get biscuits and gravy. Really good biscuits and gravy. I don't really need this in my life. However, in circumstances like the one in which I face today, where, I really was, just going to get a few things, just to munch on my way home, you know what? I don't mind that they're an option. And they're not, they're okay enough that I might on occasion grab them. But again, especially biscuits and gravy, I really do feel like that's a pretty special dish when it's, again, it's something that really should be done in the right environment with a, sort of a loving aspect to it. So these would be more sort of strictly for convenience, not because I wouldn't go back just for that. If I'm recommending them, though, if you're hankering for some biscuits and gravy, you could do worse. You could do so much better, though. But it depends on where you're at and all that stuff. And that's the thing. It is ultimately a gas station item, so you do take into account the convenience factor. And in terms of convenience versus the quality, yeah, okay. Like when you take that into effect that they're not terrible quality, they actually, again, do a pretty good job of being biscuits and gravy for what they are. Yeah, they're not homemade. They're not the proper ones that you really want. But if maybe you just want to have them as an option, so that you've got something else to work with instead of, just the croissant sandwiches and, the breakfast pizzas and shit, things like that, sure, they're there as an option and they could be a billion times worse. So, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of the week, monumental rest of the month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there have yourselves a truly proper biscuits and gravy-tastic rest of your life. And if you've never had proper biscuits and gravy, do yourself a goddamn favor, okay? Go out and get you some. I lament the fact that I I have grandparents. Oh, well, one grandparent now. Sadly, my grandfather passed away a few months ago. But he was almost 100, so he had a fucking run of it. But, they lived down in Alabama for years and years and years. And, I only ever really visited them a couple times while they were down there because it just, when do you go to Alabama? But I lament the fact that, well, for one thing, that I didn't visit them more anyway, but that while I was down there, I didn't really sort of explore the local cuisine. I kind of just hung around, their place, because I was visiting them. But would have loved some proper, southern biscuits and gravy, But, c'est la vie. 5 things before we get out of here. Oh, wait, I already did that. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, what's your take on biscuits and gravy? I know, it is really kind of a United States kind of thing, and even to a certain extent regional, but I would say at this point, probably every state in the Union, you could get some biscuits and gravy if you really wanted to. And for me personally, again, it's not a go-to breakfast item for me, but there are times when it's that's the only thing I want for breakfast, and damn it if it isn't delicious. So I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. Please feel free to comment. Let me know your experiences or recommendations for, biscuits and gravy or what the hell ever. Anyway,